Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, it looks as though it might well be God's plan to have somebody like Buhari be in charge of Nigeria to highlight the fault lines within that country that are virtually inextricable. So the fault lines in the country are ones that can never converge because the orientation, the outlook, the belief system of the people that make up the Nigerian space are so divergent that they can never converge. So the orientation of a Fulani Hausa man is completely at odds with the orientation of a Yoruba man, that it might well be the case, it can as well be the case that the two elements in contention are like a Frenchman and a Chinese man. That is how far apart the mindset is, and of course the same distance between the Igbos and the Northerners, and even the Igbos and the Yorubas, even though there's a bit more commonality in that relationship. But the Nigerian space is so divergent and is so set in its belief system that you needed an element like Malam Buhari to come and highlight this, to say categorically and to show categorically once and for all that this can never work. Guys, I bring you this: Yoruba youths hoist Odudua Republic flags in Lagos. So the Odudua agitation has now arrived at the epicenter of the Nigerian space, because of course the epicenter of the Nigerian space is Lagos. Have no doubts about that. You can say the seat of government is in Abuja, but the epicenter of Nigeria is in Lagos. Lagos is the convergence of all of the elements of the country. Everybody is represented. It's the wealthiest state in the country by far, and the top 10 economies in Africa. So it's a vast space. So now the Yorubas now are now moving to claim this space for their own, as this now Malam Buhari regime continues to repress and weigh down along tribal and ethnic lines, to the point that the most liberal of people within the Nigerian space can no longer pretend not to see what is going on. As again, Yoruba youths hoist Odudua Republic flags in Lagos. So now let's now see now how the Odudua agitation arrives in Lagos. Some Yoruba youths on Monday removed Nigerian flags and replaced them with Odudua Republic flags around Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, Lagos State. This was seen in a viral video shared on Instagram. Nigeria is facing many challenges, some bordering on insecurity in the south, which have recently contributed to agitation for self-determination. The unabated killing and kidnapping of people in the southwest by suspected Fulani headsmen and the Nigerian government's failure to solve the problem have also caused tension between the region and the north. The murderous herders have killed thousands of people, burnt houses, destroyed farms and people's means of livelihood, displaced villagers, raped women, amongst other atrocities, yet the government and the security agencies have appeared helpless in tackling the problem. The hoisting of Odudua flags by these youths might also be connected with what a Yoruba elder statesman, Professor Banji Akitoye, recently said in an interview, that the remedy to the bondage we're in, the remedy to the enslavement we are suffering on our ancestral space, is called self-determination. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it now, the situation now. So already we've been seeing the IPOB flag, not the IPOB flag, but rather the Biafra flag, continuing to get more acceptance and popularity within the southeastern space. So now the Yoruba flag is now starting to emerge as well. And once the Yoruba flag gets its full fledgling, once it gets its full pump, then that is pretty much the end of Nigeria. That is bye-bye Nigeria now, because of course the one person that has held that Nigerian space together has always been The Yorubas. It is the Yorubas that have always really essentially believed in the Nigerian project, in the Nigerian idea. The Northerners, they've never for one moment believed in anything called Nigeria. All they see is an opportunity to unfettered access to unfathomable wealth that they can just go and take as they will from the especially south region. So the one thing that has always held the Northerners within the Nigerian space has been the Niger Delta oil, which is just free dollar for them, and they cannot believe their luck. So they've always maintained their culture and their tradition and their religion. They've never changed anything. And if you go to the northern spaces, they operate a different system from what the Nigerian constitution prescribes. So you go to areas where the Sharia law supersedes the Nigerian constitution, because they'll tell you that it's directly from God, and their cultural practices is at odds with the Nigerian constitution, but they'll tell you that that is their way of life. But then of course they will impose this constitution on the southwestern space, or the southern space, and the southeast as well. So you have that, and you also have these people maintaining their unbroken relationship with their relatives in the Cameroons and Chad and Niger Republic, and they continue to form that bond with their own people, which they have always had. So that bond remains unbroken. So they will tell you that a Fulani man does not really recognize any borders, that this is Nigeria, this is Chad, or this is Niger, because they've always traversed that space from time immemorial, and they have no understanding that there are any borders. And of course, the people in charge of the Nigerian space are oftentimes Fulani people, and they don't have any recognition of any restriction for their people as well. So let's just pause and reflect on that for a moment. If you have a country that has no borders, then you do not have a country. If Nigeria cannot demarcate itself from Chad or Niger Republic or parts of Cameroon, then we don't really have a Nigeria. Because where does it stop? If we don't know what our land mass is and our population, then how do we then dedicate resources towards evolving our spaces? So if you say that all these people can stream in and out of Nigeria, then who accounts for them? Who accommodates for them? But this has always been the belief system. And the Igbos, they've never for a moment believed in Nigeria. They've been fighting an unbroken war to break away from the Nigerian space for a good 60 years. Since the Ojukwu days, they have been fighting this fight, and they have never relented for one moment in this fight to break away from Nigeria. So the Igbos want away because they can already see what is going on, and they can see that this would never serve their purpose. The Northerners, they are continuing to hold on because they have the understanding that so long as you point guns at these people who are notoriously timid, you can just kill a few of them. That will quieten them down, and you can continue to loot their resources. But the Yorubas have always been of the view that this Nigeria thing is a real opportunity, not just for this country, but for the entirety of the black race. If Nigeria, with its population of approximately 180 to 200 million, although those statistics are vague, and of course they are counting all these elements that we're saying traverses the northern corridors, but let's just go with their statistics. So if we're saying that the Nigerian population is approximately 180 to 200 million, and you're looking at the resources that Nigeria has more gold than South Africa and Ghana. Nigeria has more oil than Nigeria is top 10%, really, top 10 in the oil producing countries, and the oil exporting countries is probably top 7. So more oil exporting than oil producing, because there's no production going on within the Nigerian space. But Nigeria certainly is one of the top 10 oil countries in the world. And then bitumen, iron ore, arable farmland, diamond, emeralds, everything is within the Nigerian space. So the Yoruba argument is, if we're able to quickly get this, although there's no quickly anymore now because Nigeria is going on 70 years, but if we're able to get the Nigerian project right, that will be a beacon and a signature post for the entirety of the black race and the West African sub-region, by extension or by immediacy, really, because they are more immediate to us. So if we get Nigeria right, and Nigeria serves as that example, and we use our resources then to help all these satellite countries to get it right, that will be the emancipation and the evolution of the black race. So that has always been the Yoruba argument, but all of those arguments are now starting to falter as the Yoruba space is being weighed upon and invaded with swarms and swarms and swarms of these elements now from that porous border in the northern quarters, as we've just described, as they're just giving them guns and ferreting them and funneling them into Yoruba land to continue to act in their manner. And these people are essentially, they are primordial people, they are state of nature type of people. You've seen elements of how these people live. I've actually put up a video on this channel. If I can find it, then I'll attach it to this video as part of this video, or add it as a clip if I cannot find it, of a Fulani young lad actually bathing himself from the piss that is coming out of his cattle. So he had this big tall fat cattle, and that cattle was peeing. Piece was coming out of it, wherever it's coming out of, and this guy was behind the cattle, washing his face, including cleaning his mouth from the excretion that was coming out of the cattle. So these are the sort of people that they're giving AK-47 and sending into Yoruba land, and you're wondering why the raping and the pillaging is taking place. And I'm not saying this to be pejorative, but these people are no more than animals. They're literally no more than animals, and this of course is the dichotomy now. So now that grand idea that the Yorubas have about Nigeria as a golden opportunity for the black race is now an idea that has to be jettisoned, because it is now an existential situation within Yoruba space, as they look in alarm as the whole entirety of a race and a people are being wiped out by these hordes and hordes of marauding headsmen from the northern quarters. Conversations in the comment section, the Yoruba eyes has opened and is being signaled with a flag in Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, Lagos State. Come share thoughts. But before you come into the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, the Yorubas are now raising the Odudua flag in Lagos State, and that portends dangerous and a potent threat to the Malami regime. What says you? So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.